Morning. My name is Jamie Manson. I'm president of Catholics for Choice because the majority of Catholics support abortion access, 63%, in case you didn't know. Tell your friends. Just over 2 years ago, I stood here in front of the Supreme Court on another cold, blustery day as the justices sat inside listening to right-wing, religiously motivated arguments about why they should revoke abortion access for millions of people. We know the result of that day. A partisan majority of Supreme Court justices, all of whom were either Catholic or raised Catholic, overturned Roe v. Wade. That ruling gave right-wing leaders the ability to codify fringe religious beliefs into civil law. In the land of separation of church and state, such a religiously motivated ruling should never have been allowed to happen. How was this possible? The Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade was the crowning achievement of a decades-long religious crusade to take away our most fundamental freedoms. This religious agenda is spearheaded by Catholic bishops who have fought against the Affordable Care Act, greater LGBTQ inclusion, and more for years. They've spent billions of dollars to influence what are fights for our lives. The Catholic bishops are funded by dark Catholic money from insidious actors like Leonard Leo, who is the architect of this conservative Supreme Court. Did you know that 6 of our 9 justices are Catholic and a 7th was raised Catholic? This is not a coincidence. With the notable exception of Sonia Sotomayor, these hardline conservative Catholics were put on the bench because of their anti-choice and anti-LGBTQ views, and most importantly, their overreaching, discriminatory interpretation of religious freedom. It should be no surprise that the Little Sisters of the Poor filed an amicus brief in this case being heard today. This community of nuns have spent over a decade fighting the contraceptive mandate of the Affordable Care Act. When the Obama administration proposed that access to contraception was an essential part of preventative health care, the sisters discovered a new ministry as warriors for a right-wing interpretation of religious freedom. But the Little Sisters are neither little nor poor. They are an avatar for the wealthy and powerful right-wing interests. They have been successful thanks in large part to this right-wing court. Right-wing religious forces are not stopping at taking away access to contraception and overturning Roe v. Wade. They will continue to spend millions of dollars fighting and losing abortion right ballots initiatives. This week, they will bus school children to Washington, D.C. for the so-called March for Life, a performative action that reflects a minority opinion. And they will continue to bring cases to their engineered, ultra-conservative, very Catholic Supreme Court. If Relentless, Inc. is successful, it would further advance the Supreme Court's quest to achieve disproportionate power and strip away our most fundamental freedoms. It would weaken the power of the executive branch and make the court even less accountable to the checks and balances that are fundamental to our democracy. Our opposition in this case will argue that executive power must be checked in order to protect the free exercise of religion. Let me be abundantly clear. Their religious freedom is not at stake. Ours is. Because religious freedom doesn't simply guarantee the right for me to practice my religious beliefs, it also protects my right to be free of the religious beliefs of others. Freedom of religion must also mean freedom from religion. As we look to the court for today's oral arguments and try to read those tea leaves of what they will decide between now and June, I can only hope that my fellow Catholics who serve on the Supreme Court will honor true religious freedom and reject the relentless power grab. Thank you so much.